Hello, my name is Joshua Gilliland. I'm an attorney blogger on Bowtie Law and with Jessica Meterson on The Legal Geeks. Today with me is Nick from kCura, the great people who make Relativity, and check out their YouTube channel because it rocks. Just literally the best that I've seen on an eDiscovery software. To talk about his thoughts in 2014, legal tech, and geek out. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Josh, and thanks for the kind comments on the YouTube channel.
You earned them, dude. They are. Tell Andrew, great job. So just you guys are doing magnificent stuff.
Will do.
So 2014. What do you think are the biggest issues for attorneys in the practice of law as you see them?
Sure. I'll point to three things, and I'll answer it through the lens of technology. Doing what we do. But the first would be the rising amounts of data. You probably saw Ari Kaplan had an article in LTN just a week or so ago, and he interviewed some folks in Fortune 500 that are dealing with eDiscovery issues. And I think 46% of the people that he spoke to felt that in the next couple of years, they would see litigation volumes increase drastically. Also, if we look at just kind of our own Relativity universe, the largest case being hosted in Relativity today is 105 million documents, not pages, documents. And right now, the Relativity universe has 27 billion files under management. And last October alone, we added 2 billion files in a month. So data volumes continue to increase. We don't see that going away. So I think that's going to be, one of the number one challenges of the practice of law. Number two is people looking for what I'll call flexible deployment options. So it's not always, I think, as clear cut as I'm going to own eDiscovery internally on premises or I'm going to host it. We have a lot of our customers now asking for hybrid type options where they'd own some processes or some technology internally, some would get hosted, or even where they might own the software, but they would work with another group to manage the infrastructure, sometimes what we hear referred to as a managed services arrangement. So it's flexible deployment options. And then number three, I would say the rising expectations of our end users. And a couple of different things I would point to there. One, people are using software more and more in their everyday lives now. And so their expectations for what a business application or an eDiscovery application should do and how it should work, their frame of reference is now Google or Facebook. It's not a legacy business application. The other under rising expectations would be mobility. People want to do more and more with the phones and tablets that they carry around. End-to-end is a term that's been thrown around or used a lot in our space over the years, and I think there are rising expectations around that too, so that different technology systems don't just talk to one another and data just doesn't flow on the back end from one system to another, but the actual interface on top of it is easy to work with, and one person can maybe take data through various stages of eDiscovery. And finally, I'll say in those rising expectations, we're seeing our customers want to do more with their eDiscovery software. So for example, we have a government agency that uses Relativity for their Freedom of Information Act requests or FOIAs. We've got corporations that will use Relativity purely for HR or kind of internal investigations work. We've got some groups that are saying, hey, how could I use my eDiscovery software to maybe solve an IG type problem? Maybe it's not the IG silver bullet, but I've got one particular issue and it's a lot like eDiscovery. So, we're seeing those types of things as well. But rising amounts of data, flexible deployment options, and rising expectations of end users, I think, are the challenges.
Well said. And you guys, the flexible deployment that you mentioned reminds me a lot of President Kennedy's flexible response model, because under Ike we had the massive retaliation, and if that's the eDiscovery analogy for that would be, we'll just have a giant database. Like that could work, but you're only looking at it for the big one as opposed to being able to engage on all levels. So that's Nice to see you guys are very Kennedy-esque. So well done. Well done. Well,
You've got more of the political look than I do today, but I'll take it.
it's the bow tie. It screams it. So it's not in honor of your late Senator Paul Simon. So there's that. I'm flying my historical geek flag pretty proudly right now. So, but with that, let's talk about, you outlined a bunch of the tech solutions. We got legal tech coming up in a couple weeks. Where can people find you, and what could people learn from you if they sought you out at Legal Tech?
Sure. So I'll first start with where can people find us. We love Legal Tech. We're sending 45 people from kCura there this year. For us, it's one of the few opportunities that we have during the course of the year to get a lot of people from our company in touch and face-to-face with our customers. So you'll see people not just on the sales and marketing team, but you'll see folks from our client services team, which is tech support. You'll see people from the development team, the engineers writing the software, product management. So we send a lot of people. You can find us at booth 408 on the trade show floor. We're also across the street at the Warwick. We've got lots of rooms for private meetings. If you want to hook up with us, you can do that. And then one of the things we're really excited about is in Concourse A, we have something that we're calling the Relativity Showcase. So on Tuesday and Wednesday, you can go down to Concourse A, and we're going to have 6 different stations down there highlighting different parts of our technology. We'll have a subject matter expert from kCura at each one of those stations. Everything from a quick little 5-minute demo to a hands-on exercise or an interactive game. So we're trying to make it quick, give you kind of a guided tour of the app itself. And you can actually collect tickets down there. I think if you visit all the stations to get some Relativity swag, like our highly coveted baseball hats or track jackets. The showcase, in addition to featuring our software, is going to feature some of our ISVs. Those are partners that have third-party software providers that have written integrations with Relativity and their technology. We're going to have a reception for Relativity professionals and our best in service partners on Tuesday evening at the showcase. And then on Thursday morning in Concourse A, we're going to have our hands-on computer-assisted review workshop. That's something that we first brought to ILTA last year, and it was really well reviewed, and now it's CLE accredited. So it's a whole morning of really digging in, getting hands-on, got all types of experts from kCura there, and hopefully, adding even more value to the session now that you can get CLE credits. But we'll have a big presence at Legal Tech, and we look forward to seeing everyone. In terms of what we'll be talking about, we'll be talking a lot about the latest release of our software, which is Relativity 8.1. 8.1 was announced at our user conference, Relativity Fest, last October, and was generally available in November. Today, we've got about 80 installations of 8.1, and about 25% of our 88,000 users are on it. A couple of things that I would highlight with respect to the technology that I think go back to some of the challenges we talked about at the beginning. Made improvements to Relativity Assisted Review, which is our predictive coding workflow, made it faster, made it easier. Have a really cool summary report that you can kick out at the end of a project that kind of details all the statistical measures you've used for the project, where your starting dot counts, where ending dot counts. We've taken sampling, which was something that was originally just part of our kind of predictive coding workflow, and we've pulled it throughout the application, so you can use sampling in whatever you're doing, whether or not you're kind of using advanced analytics. And I think that speaks to these rising data volumes. Even if you're doing more kind of traditional tasks, the ability to kind of take a sample and QC it is important. We added a really nice feature to processing in 8.1 called inventory. Again, you talk about dealing with large data volumes, but inventory is something that's going to allow you to kind of spin through a couple million records in a matter of minutes and really give you a profile of what your data looks like. And visually, you'll be able to work through it and filter on things like domains, file type, location, etc., get rid of junk or pull in things that you know are relevant before you fully process it. So lots of good stuff on the technology front.
Yeah, I watched some of the videos for 8.1 on the inventory with processing, and I really think that could even be used in kind of a ECA capacity. Are you seeing people do that, or is they trying something else?
No, absolutely. That's when we demo this for most of our customers, the first thing that most of them say is, "Oh, great, you guys do ECA now." So yeah, that's absolutely how a lot of folks are using inventory and processing.
Very cool. Very cool. It sounds like you guys got a lot going on. And I do want one of those track jackets. The collegiate looking one. Those are wickedly cool. So,
Come by the showcase.
yeah, hats off to you. You guys have some really cool swag. So, I hope you have a very successful legal tech. But let's talk about something that's important to everyone who's in Generation X and Generation Y, and that would be Episode 7.
Right.
What's your hopes for the next Star Wars installment?
Well, as a dad now, I think what I hope for is I still remember being a pretty little guy and my own father taking me to Return of the Jedi and being equally parts, terrified and absolutely enthralled and just kind of itching in my seat and wanting to sit on the aisle so I could leave at any minute. But I stayed through the whole thing. And, it's still one of those movies that I'll just watch end to end today. And now having kids and having some little boys and girls at home that like to dress up as Star Wars characters for Halloween, I'm looking forward to taking them and hopefully giving them that same type of experience. But there's still the original episodes that I know and love. They're the newer ones that my kids love. So I think it'll be really cool to have Episode 7 come out and be one that we can experience together in real time. So that's sort of my dad geek flag, as it were.
My hope, because with J.J. Abrams at the helm, who is our generation, with Lucas and the originals, they targeted it for everyone. So you had young and old alike. The prequels were pretty much geared towards kids, so that's why it alienated folks who grew up with it for the large part. And I think Abrams is going to steer the path for everybody. So, I'm very optimistic because there are guys like you who want to take their kids and have that magical experience that they can connect with you, from you having fun as remembering being a kid to them. But the important question is, have you looked at your son and said, "I am your father"?
That's a good one. I'm not sure that I have. I'll agree with you on Abrams, though. I was a big original Star Trek fan, and I like what he did with that movie. So I'm very hopeful that he's going to do a great job with 7.
If you guys have any business out here before, I think it's the end of February, in San Jose at the Tech Museum, they have the Star Wars exhibit right now. And it is fascinating to walk through and look at all the different models that they have, from the original series, or excuse me, the original trilogy. I started thinking Star Trek there for a moment. And, which is cool, models, and there's an entire section on droids and a section of the Millennium Falcon that you can walk through as well. So it is pretty cool. And that's the sort of thing that when I went, there were a lot of parents geeking out their kids. So, but awesome. Well, Nick, thank you so much for your time. Again, I hope the show is really successful for you, and I look forward to seeing all the things that you guys have planned for 2014, because you guys are truly rock stars and helping a lot of folks when it comes to eDiscovery. So keep up the good work.
Thanks very much, Josh. Appreciate the time, and we'll see you at Legal Tech.
Take care now. Thank you.
Bye.